Hello everyone on the interwebs, my name is Kotek and today we're going to be watching a Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm replay, a Protoss versus Zerg as it does seem, between Axioms Alicia, our red Protoss in the bottom left corner, versus MVP Sniper, our blue Zerg in the upper right corner. They're both Korean players, so in terms of StarCraft, we have to expect an awesome match coming from these two players. Let me just put myself on busy right away. The map is Whirlwind. I think it is the latter edition. It is let's do a quick analysis of the map real quick while we put up the production tab. You have a pretty easy to access expansion here with not much harassment potential, maybe with some oracles or mutas, and a pretty small choke here, not that big considering the other maps which have way bigger chokes there. A large area here protecting two expansions here, and here this one is a bit tougher to reach. It is really exposed if the opponent is here, and both of them have two entrances. They are pretty similar, the entrances, rocks and entrance, and rocks and entrance. So they're pretty much the same. Taking each, just taking this one or this one is completely up to you. Maybe if I was here, I would take this one since it is closer to the base, not as expanded, and then after all it's just expanded because this map is a 4-player map. It's not a 2v2 map, but it is a 4 base map, so I think if you're here, then he could spawn here, here, or here, not sure. But they did spawn cross position, so there is a long rush distance, so some sort of rushes, it's not recommended, I believe, because the other one can just find defenses just in time. Let's study what both of them are doing. We are seeing that Alicia is at the moment doing double gas already, with 2 probes in each gas. I don't know if that's a mistake or if he actually means to do that. He'll make a cybernetics core real quick, and I'm actually hoping that he does go air, some sort of air units like oracles, void rays, some sort of mix like that. Oh, however, on the Zerg side, we don't see any gas yet. We're seeing that he's making 2 queens, and his expansion is almost done. He probably went 15 hatch, 15 pool, 15 hatch, something of the sort. Alicia is now expanding and making a mothership core while chrono boosting out, so you might see some harassment potential right off the bat. Instead of chrono boosting the warp gate research, he decides to just chrono boost the cybernetics core, but still not spending anything on the gateway, not a warp gate, a gateway, and of course making that pylon in the front entrance. We're seeing some Zergling harassment, not harassment, just poking around, scouting Zergling really. He tried to lure him out. Will he actually try to go around, or will he just give up? I think he's just gonna give up. Gateway being placed down at the entrance of the base, so it's probably not gonna be some sort of air units, as far as we can tell. Sniper starting to saturate on both bases, not really going for anything really aggressive. Maybe a couple of Zerglings here and there, just poke around, some scouting. He got 1 gas in the expansion instead of in the main, which is kind of a weird move. I've never actually seen that. And he's just deciding to, instead of being aggressive, he's actually going to throw down a 3rd expansion while Alicia is just blocking that base like a beast with a pylon and 3 gateways, although that pylon is supporting all 3 of those gateways. So if that pylon did go down with, for example, mutas, then that'd be a ton of damage for Sniper. It'd do a lot of damage to Alicia from Sniper, and it'd be a great macro advantage. The Zealot here is actually just blocking that little entrance. I'm not even sure that Immortals can even pass through that little entrance. It is so small. I think only sentries and Zealots and such can actually pass through. We're seeing a lot of blue units in the middle of the map. It is a ton of overlords. That's a lot of scouting information. So Alicia is actually just bringing the mothership core to his base, and a couple of sentries, 2 sentries and 1 zealot, and just warping in a couple of units here at the pound, which he made, and it's actually a 4-gate expand. type of builds. We're actually not seeing it's a 4-gate, but it's not an all-in 4-gate. It's just poking around 4-gate with the Nexus for the economic advantage that he can still get. Chrono boosting out the gateways so he can get even faster units, not faster units, but faster reinforcements. And he just needs to make a lot of Zerglings, and the Roaches need to arrive pretty quick. The Roach run is almost done, and it is done. We'll see some Roaches being built right off the bat. No, we will not. Maybe he... Okay, there we go. He's actually making the Roaches. 2 Roaches at the moment, which are not going to do a lot. Zerglings are not doing a lot either because of the Zealots. Zealots are going to tank the Zerglings like bees. Now there we go. A couple more Roaches. Instead of 2, now we're going to have 7. The Zerglings can't attack at the moment. They need the Roaches to actually do some damage. Otherwise they're going to die. The Time Warp here is amazing. And the Force Field, the Queen cannot escape, nor can the Zerglings. Neither can the Zerglings. But the Roaches are trying to snipe the Zealots right here. 3 are gone. But the Protoss army did a ton of damage to the Zerglings. There are no units whatsoever other than a couple of Roaches that are being killed by the force fields, by the Stalker, by the Mothership Core, by everything really. But there's a constant reinforcement of Zerglings, and just like that, the 4-gate, the safe 4-gate is now defended. He'll maybe try to mass recall. He will try, but will do it. He got away with, well, actually, both Stalkers and a Sentry. I thought that one Stalker was going to die. Was pretty close to dying. 5 HP, and a Stargate being thrown down for Alicia. So we are going to see some airplay. Sniper is actually just trying to expand again. That expansion got destroyed. He now sees that the pylon was actually here. He is going to take down that pylon. No more sneaky play is going to be made there unless he puts another pylon there. The lair is being morphed still. Only 2 gas for Sniper and only 2 people on the gas here. And still no gas in the main. No buildings actually in the main. It almost seems like the natural is actually his main, but he just puts the lair on the actual main. Now there we go. The gases are being thrown down in the actual main instead of the main. Well, now it'll actually be the main. And of course the Zerg missile attacks upgrade is being researched, and a bunch of overlords being clumped up right there to the gas instead of being around the map. If they're on the map, of course they have the risk of dying. Alicia got a bit of supply block there. He couldn't chrono boost out that void ray, but now that he is not supply blocked, he is going to actually make that void ray. And of course Hydroisk then being thrown down for Snipers. He knows he is going to go for air. What should I do? Infestation Pit will take too much time and maybe not enough damage, so he needs that Roach Hydra ball, especially the Hydra part of it. And of course just a little roaches to tank the ground units. Another Stargate being thrown down for Alicia right in the entrance of the base. You can just try and poke around a little and you can see it pretty easily. I think this Overlord maybe sees it. No, he does not. That Overlord actually does not see it. And something happened there. I think an Overlord got killed. Maybe, perhaps. That creep spread for Sniper is starting to develop really nicely. But it's still going to take a while to get to the other base since the rush distance is so long and this distance is so long. Hallucinated Phoenix trying to trick Sniper thinking that he is not going air. Because tricking that he's going air, it's pretty tough if you're not. But tricking that you're not going air by saying that you're going air, it's pretty tough. It's a pretty hard trick to do. But I think Sniper saw right through it, and he just keeps making the Hydralisks. And of course that Alicia is researching the +1 attacks, +1 attack for the air units, and another Stargate being thrown for Alicia. That brings it to a total of 3 Stargates. So he's just going to start pumping out those Void Rays really quickly. And of course the shield upgrade is also being researched in the Forge, because it is researched in the Forge, not the Cybernetics core. Still kind of hard to adjust, I have to say. Of course another Hallucinated Phoenix trying to scout, trying to do some damage, but the Hydras are going to get it before they can actually do any scouting. Although he saw enough, he saw that he has the Hydras, so he might just try and make some robotics, maybe some Colossi here. or maybe some High Templars, but that'd be a bit more gas heavy. So maybe he'll choose for the Colossi. In the meantime, Sniper is researching the range upgrade for the Hydras, while he already has researched the 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 Hydra movement speed upgrade outside of creep. Actually, when I got hot, I thought it was outside and inside the creep you got a bonus of speed, but it's actually only outside of the creep. The speed you have inside the creep remains intact. It is still the same speed, really. And it just keeps messing on them Void Rays and a couple of Sentries and Zealots. Not a lot of Stalkers though, which is a good thing because Sniper has a lot of Hydras, and Stalkers against Hydras and Roaches and all that, they take up the damage really. They don't soak up a lot of damage before dying, so they die pretty quickly against this type of army. Roaches are being made for Sniper, trying to back up these Hydras, but that's a lot of Hydras. 26 Hydras at the moment. The army composition is just insane. That's a ton of Hydras. The Force will try to block the way for the Hydras, trying to force them into not escaping. Well, it's great that the Hydras are not armored, otherwise the Void Rays will do more damage. The force fields here were amazing, trying to fall into the army, trying to make it move around, but the Time Warp makes it so it can't move around. A lot of some Stalkers being researched here, another Time Warp here, and the force field. A lot of Hydras are just dying here, and they're not doing a lot of damage. They're actually dying. They're not doing anything, and they're taking a lot of it. They're tanking everything, but without a profit. Spire being thrown down for Sniper, and an Infestation Pit, so we might actually see some Brood Lords, or maybe some Vipers here. Of course, Sniper has to take out this Powon. That's a lot of Void Rays, I have to say. That's 14 Void Rays. So, that against this amount of Hydras, which is actually not a lot, it actually is down to 13 after that force field battle. It's not going to do a lot. The Queens are also not armored, so the Voyages do not do more damage using the prismatic alignment. But the force field and the Zerglings trying to cover the Stalkers, the Sentries, all that type of army are not doing a lot. Sniper is taking a large hit here without bringing a lot to Alicia's mind, really. He's not actually performing any mind games, just actually losing a lot of his army due to the colossal amount of Void Rays, bringing it up to 19 Void Rays, which is a crazy amount of Void Rays. He needs to get another unit composition. He needs it fast. Maybe some mutas would help a lot, but the Spire is almost done. What will we see being brought out for Sniper? Instead of besides actually a couple of Queens here, not a lot apparently. He's actually not building anything from the hatcheries that are from the Spire, really. Just sending those Zerglings into this expansion. He was going to try and block it, but he now sees that this army has just moved up. He sees that's a large amount of Void Rays, and it's GG for Sniper. Victory by Alicia from Team Axiom. A great ZVP here. It shows that you don't really need a large Colossus army to beat Hydras. You just need a lot of micro, and of course that battle, those force fields there were amazing. That micro with the force fields, the zealots, that was just amazing. Of course, the time warps also helped immensely. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.